Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Amma ba'du. Then we have reached Kitab al-Janaiz, the book of funerals. And we begin with Hadith number 58 بعد المية 158. And it deals with بيان حكم الصلاة على الميت الغائب وكيفيتها. بيان حكم الصلاة على الميت الغائب وكيفيتها. The ruling, clarifying the ruling of salah upon the dead, al-ghaib, meaning the one who is not present, someone who died in another area where you are not at, not in the same city where you can go pray on him, but somewhere far away where you cannot go, and how that's done. This hadith on Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, qala, from the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, نعى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم النجاشي في اليوم الذي مات فيه. نعى here means to announce the death of someone. And he goes to talk about that in the footnotes or in the fawaid. So he says, نعى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم النجاشي. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the fa'il here, the Dhamma, he announced the death of an-Najashi, right? في اليوم الذي مات فيه, on the same day that he died, right? Who is Najashi? For those who don't know, here he explains Najashi, who a Malik al-Habasha. He is the king of Abyssinia. This is his name. Najashi is not his name, it's his title, like Fir'aun. It's not the person's name, but rather his title. Like we have the president, that's the title. The president now is Biden, right? We have the we have the what's it called, prime minister. In some countries, the president is called the prime minister. Some countries, we have a king. Like in Saudi Arabia, we have Malik ibn Salman, Malik Salman. We have the King Salman right now. Hafidhullah, may Allah preserve him. But in Kuwait, we don't have a king. We have what they call an emir. We have an emir, right? Like he's called a prince, but he's the same thing as the king, right? And it's Sheikh Mish'al, may Allah Azza preserve him. So president, prime minister, king, emir, Fir'aun, Najashi, these are all titles, right? Who Malik al-Habasha. He's not called the Malik, the king, but he is Najashi. And Habasha is Abyssinia, or modern day Ethiopia. Wasmuhu Ashama. And his name is Ashama. Ashama was his name. Tuwufiya, he was caused to pass away. Fi Rajaba, mamnu min as-sarf, sanata tis'a, right? Sanata tis'a, tis'in, in the 9th year. He was caused to pass away in Rajab in the 9th year. So na'a an-Nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam an-Najashi fi al-yawm alladhi mata fihi. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam announced the death of Najashi on the same day that he died. And he was the king of Abyssinia. Kharaja bihim ila al-musalla. So he went out with the people to the musalla, not in the masjid, but to the musalla. Fasaffa bihim, and he arranged them in rows. Wa kabbara arba'an, and he made the takbir 4 times. Min fawaidi wa ahkam al-hadith, from the virtues, benefits, and rulings of the hadith. Awwalan, firstly, أنه ورد fi sunnah. Warada means it comes, it appears, it has been narrated fi sunnah in the sunnah. And the Ibn Abbasin, that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, qala, he said, Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam yaqulu, saying, Ma min rajulin muslimin yamutu. Ma min rajulin, there is no man, Muslimin, no Muslim man, yamutu, who passes away, fayaqumu ala janazatihi, and there stands over his janazah, his funeral prayer, arba'una rajulan, 40 men. So there's no Muslim man who passes away and then 40 men stand for his funeral prayer. La yushrikuna billahi shay'an, they do not commit shirk with Allah in anything. They don't associate any partner with Allah, meaning they're Muslims. Illa shafa'ahumullahu fihi. Shafa'ahumullahu fihi. Except that Allah makes them intercessors for him. So if they stand up and pray over him, 40 men, Muslims, then Allah makes them intercessors for him. Rawahu Muslimun. Narrated by Muslim. Thaniyan. Secondly, thubutu salati, the establishment of the salat al-mayyit al-ghaibi, upon the dead person who is absent. Wahiya wajibatun in mata, and it's obligatory if he died bi makanin lam yusalli, in a place where lam yusalli alayhi ahadun, no one prays over him. So if a Muslim lives in a non-Muslim land and he's in an area where there are not Muslims and he's buried by his non-Muslim family, and the Muslims find out about it, then it is obligatory for them to pray over him. Wa illa fi sunnah, except in the sunnah, Allah yusalli al-ghaibi, that you do not pray. It's from the sunnah that you do not pray over the one who's absent, إِذَا كَانَ قَدْ صُلِّيَ عَلَيْهِ, if he was prayed over. So in many times, someone big from the Muslim world dies, and people all over the Muslim world will pray him a funeral prayer. This is not the sunnah. The sunnah for the Salat al-Ghaib, the one praying the absentee prayer, is for the one who no one prayed over him, such as in the case of Najashi, rahimahullah. ثالثا ثبوت آية من آيات النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, establishing a sign from the signs of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, almost like a miracle of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, حيث, where أخبر, he informed, بموت النجاشي في اليوم الذي مات فيه. So this is an ayah, this is a miracle, that the Prophet ﷺ, living in Medina, was able to inform the people that someone in Abyssinia or Habasha had passed away. وَهَذِهِ فَضِيلَةٌ لِلنَّجَاشِ, and this is also a virtue or an honor for an-Najashi. Shows the virtue of an-Najashi, that Allah informed the Prophet ﷺ about his passing, and that the Prophet ﷺ was the one who prayed over him, even though he was in a different land. Rabi'an, fourthly, jawazu an-na'i al-maut, al-mayyit, the permissibility of announcing the death. وهو الإخبار بموته, and na'i means إخبار بموته, and that is to inform someone of his death. Just giving a definition there. ويجب إن كان, and it's obligatory if إن كان لتحصيل أمر واجب. It's obligatory if that's to tahsil, to obtain or to achieve an amr wajibin, an obligatory matter, lahu, kasalati alayhi wa dafnihi. So, for example, we do not just going around announcing the death of people, especially if it's going to cause people to, come in an uproar and cry and lash out and scream and tear their clothes and cheeks, hit their cheeks and stuff. But it's permissible to inform the death of someone, and it becomes obligatory if that is in order to achieve a matter which is obligatory, such as we need to inform them so that they can know kasalat alayhi, like praying over him, and we need someone to dafnihi, to wrap him and bury him. وَيَحْرُمُ, and it's prohibited to announce the death of a person in كان لفعل أمر محرم, and if announcing is going to cause a harm, something haram, then it's haram to do so. If announcing the death of the person is going to announce, so what kind of haram? He says kal ma'atim. Ma'atim comes from alaf ta mim, meaning female mourners who come out just to scream and yell in order to make noise as if this helps the dead person. Wa idhar al-huzn. Wa ka idhar al-huzni. And like in order to bring out sadness and display sadness, al-mayyiti, upon the death of that dead person. Aw al-ghuluwi fi. Or going overboard in the matter, or in him in announcing his death. هذا والله تعالى أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.